Okay, so what we are going to learn today is iterations, which are part of loops. So let's understand the objective of this particular part of the presentation. We are going to create understanding about indefinite and definite loops. So we'll try to understand what's the difference between indefinite and definite loops. What is a loop first? What is the difference between indefinite loop and definite? Then we'll also understand there are two special statements called as break and continue. Many times, so what are these loops or iterations? Many times computers are used to perform identical or similar tasks multiple times. Okay, so suppose you want to perform a same task multiple times, what you will do? There are two ways of doing that. One thing is that you write the code again and again. So suppose you want to perform a particular thing 10 times, you write the code 10 times, computer will do it. But the problem with that is the computer program becomes bulky. Bulky in the sense there are a lot of code. So what computer programming languages provide is that they provide that you can repeat the code instead of writing it again, but there is a command which can repeat the code for a specific amount of time. Computer, unlike human beings, are good at repeating the task or doing same task again and again, and they don't get bored just like us. So if we are asked to do 1,000 times one task 1,000 times, we will get bored after some time, but computer don't. These repetitive tasks are called iterations. As iterations are very common or so common in computer languages like Python, Python provides many features to make it easier. So there are two kind of iterations or loops. One is definite, which is for loop, and there is another loop, indefinite, which is while loop. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between definite and indefinite?
Definite is for a small fraction amount of number, and indefinite would be continuous, maybe.
Okay, what is the meaning of definite?
It'll happen a definite number of times.
Yeah, so we know the starting point, we know the end point. So we know that even before we start running the program, we know that this particular code we want to repeat 10 times or 20 times. So we know that it will be repeated 10 times or 20 times. So this is like definite, everything is fixed. So we hardwire in the programming. So we write a program where we write a word, say this loop should be repeated 20 times or 10 times. So that becomes a definite. Indefinite loop is something where you don't know how many times the code will be code will be repeated. In some run, in say if you run the first time, the code might get repeated say 4 times. If you run it again later on, then the code might get repeated say 20 times, 30 times. So it depends on the situation how many times the code will be repeated. That is called as indefinite loop. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So indefinite don't have a specific number written in the program that this many times the loop should be repeated. Let's look at the flow chart. The flow chart is like this. Let me start the pointer. Flow chart is like this. So your program, there is a program first, some part of the program. From there it comes to the loop. So white arrow shows the flow of the program. It comes to a condition. So condition has to be either true or false. Now everyone knows what does condition means, right? And what is the output of the condition? So what is the output of the condition? Any condition. What is the output of the condition?
True.
True or false?
It's true. Always true.
Yeah, true or false. A condition can have two answers, two outputs, true or false. Basically, a variable called as bool. So if the condition is true, it will go and execute a block of statements or some set of statements. And again, it will come to the condition. Again, the condition is true. Again, it will go and run the block of statement. Again, it will go to the condition. And the block of statement repeated till the condition is true. As soon as the condition become false, the program will come outside and go to the next part of the program. That is clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
this block will be repeated how many times? That number of times till the condition is true. Okay. So in the while running the program, for some time the condition should be true, and there should come an instance where condition should be false. Then and then program will come outside this loop. So one or more variables associated with the condition should change their values over the iterations. So this is a one iteration. When you run the block once, that is called as one iteration. So you go to the condition, run the block, again come back to the condition, that is one iteration. Again from the condition, go to the block, again run the second iteration. Okay. So there might be 2 or 3 variables in the block, 1 or 2 more variables associated with the condition. So condition might have some variables, right? Some comparison done with some variables. And those variables should change their values in the block. Why? Otherwise, the condition will remain true every time. So those variables should change their values over the time in the iterations to finally get out of the loop. So say there is a variable x. So when we come to a condition first time, the variable x has such a value that condition is true. It go to the block runs, the block is executed. In that, value of x is changed, and again we go back to the condition. Say again the value of x is such a way that condition is true. One second. Yeah, sorry. Again the x value of x is such a way that condition is still true. It will go to the block, again run. In that, x value will again get modified. Again you go to the condition, and this will keep on happening till the value of x is such a way that condition is false. Then it will come outside and go to the next part of the program. This is clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
See, the value of x cannot be remain same. If value of x remains same, what will happen?
It will cause an infinite loop.
It will go on continue this loop, because if value of x is same, then condition will give you the same answer, true, true, true every time. If every time the condition has a true value, what will happen? You will keep on running the block. So program will get restricted to this loop only. So it will keep continuing here. Either you have to stop it, or the battery will drain out and then it will stop. Now this variable which is get modified over the different iterations is called as loop variable or iteration variable. Okay. So let's look at, before we go to the loop code of the loop, we have to look at the loop variable. So updating iteration variable. Let's say that we have a variable x, which is the iteration variable, which is the part of the condition. So we have to change the value of x. So how to change the value of x? We can write x is equal to x plus 1. So what this particular statement is going to do? Can anyone tell me?
Each time the value of x increases by 1. First, when first if it is 0, then next time it increments to 1, then it's 2. Each time the
Right.
loop learns.
Right. So in mathematics, normally we don't have this. If you see this statement in mathematics, it is totally wrong, right? You cannot have x is equal to x plus 1. But here what happens in programming is that if the value of x is say 0, as you said, then x plus 1 is carried out first. So there is, see, understand, look at this statement. This statement has 2 operators. What are those 2 operators?
Equal operator and addition operator.
Right. So what is the job of the equal operator? It takes the whatever the value on the right hand side and give it to left hand side. Okay. So to take the value from the right hand side, it has to calculate the final value on the right hand side, which is x plus 1. So if x has a value 0, it will take x is equal to 0 plus 1. So that operation will be carried out first. So x plus 1 will be replaced by 0 plus 1. The answer is 1. then you get x is equal to 1. So one value is now stored in variable x. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, understand in Python, there is a small thing here. This x which is on right hand side and x on the right hand side and left hand side, they are different. In the sense that whenever you write x is equal to x plus 1, previous x is deleted and then new x is created. So new variable x is different from the previous x. They have the same name, but the actual physical memory location in the in the memory is different. This is a different variable and this is a different variable. Not like C++, where the same variable used multiple times, right? Even if you change the value, you're changing the value in the variable. The variable remains as its value is getting changed. Here, what happens when you write x plus 1 and that is equal to x, a new x variable is created after deleting the previous x. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's go ahead. This is called as incrementing the value of the iteration variable or loop variable. Okay, because we are increasing the value, we called it as this statement as incrementing the value of the iteration variable. Now this can be written in short because it is used in loops always. So this type of statement is again written in short as x plus equal to 1. So when you write x plus equal to 1, computer knows that it is nothing but x is equal to x plus 1. Okay, the plus equal to is called as augmented assignment operator. Okay, this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so similarly we can have a similar type of operation, similar type of statements for other operators. So let's look at that. So we have x plus equal to 1, which is equivalent to x is equal to x plus 1. Then we have x minus equal to 1, which is equivalent to x is equal to x minus 1, which is called as decrementing the value of the operator. Similarly for multiplication, power, division, mod, right? Okay. Now assignment operator can be of any type. Now let's look at the actual loops. So we'll look at first loop called as while loop. So while loop is what kind of loop? Finite or definite or indefinite?
Indefinite.
Indefinite. So the word while is very close to the English word while, English language word while. So while a condition is true, keep on executing the block. When the condition is false, you come outside. That is what this while statement means. So while, then condition, colon, and then block of statement, those are expected to get executed till the condition is true. Now you can see here that block of statement is shown by a indent, right? Which is below the block is below the condition, not below the while. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the starting of the block is shown by the colon. Now the loop or the block will get executed till the condition is true. Till the condition gives the return value as true, 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 the block will get executed. As soon as the condition is false, you will come outside. Now let's look at the program. Now I'll explain you what is x is equal to none means, but there is something called as x is equal to none. While x not equal to 0, x is equal to input, enter the integer number. So what this will do, this will ask for the integer number from the user. So user will enter the number. Now what value user will enter is totally depends on the user. Okay, what we'll do now, we'll convert that value to the integer variable. Then we'll print the variable. Again, if x is non-zero, we'll go up again. Again, we'll ask for the user input. Again, we'll convert that user input in the integer, print that integer. Again, we'll go back here and we'll continue this process till what condition? X exclamatory
It's not
mark
equal to 0.
as soon as user enters 0, what will happen? It will come
Loop
out.
will stop.
Now tell me which statement is not a part of the loop.
Print end.
print end. And how you came to know that print end is not part of the loop?
It's not in the it's not indented.
Right. So x is equal to input, x is equal to int, and print x. All these three statements are indented by the same amount. So that means they are part of the same block. Okay. And print end is not don't have indents. That means it is not part of that. And how to find out print end is which part of the program is you have to look at what is the indent. So it does not have an indent and it is with the while. Same thing. So it is part of the program where while and x is equal to none is written. Now question is that what is x is equal to none? Now x is equal to none means we are just creating a memory location and labeling it as x, and we are not specifying what is that variable type. So x is equal to none is like just creating a variable name, okay, and just
Yes.
engaging a memory location. But we are still not specifying what kind of variable is this. Is it a string variable, or is it an integer variable? Is it a float variable? It is a complex variable. We are not specifying anything. We are just saying just reserve a memory location and label it as x. That is what we are saying. So that's why we are written as x is equal to none. That is clear.
Yes, sir.
And the reason being writing x is equal to none because the condition is true till x is not equal to 0. We can here also write x is equal to 10. That is also okay. No problem. Okay, but writing x is equal to none is like being not biased about any value. So we are saying just create a variable x and then go to the loop and then start using x. That is what we are saying. Then let's look at the output, how the output will look like. So as soon as you run this program, you can see the output on the right hand side of the screen. It says enter the integer number. We enter the value 3. It will print 3, and then again the statement will come, enter the integer number. It will ask for a next value. Suppose we enter 56, it will print 56. Again it will print the statement, enter integer number. Now suppose in this case we enter 0, then it will print 0, and again it will go back to the while statement and it will see, oh, now x is equal to 0, so statement is false. So it will come outside of the loop and it will print the statement to end. That is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at this program in a spider. Can anyone help me to write the code? So if you want to write the title here, you have to write 3 double asterisks. So that means you can write a para here, nothing will happen. If you want to end this statement comment, you have to again write 3 double quotation. So let's write here. So this is the program. Python. We are learning what Python 3. Remember always. We are not learning Python 2. Python 2 has a different code. The logic and everything is going to be remain same. But Python 2, some code is different from the Python 3. We are learning all the codes which are with Python 3, not Python 2. So if you come across the literature which has Python 2, the code will be slightly different. Some code will be same, some code will be different. Where this is a Python 3 program to display working of, I can say enter here, working of display working of loop while. That is okay. This is what is title
Yes,
of the
sir.
program. Okay, so what should be the first statement? I'm writing x is equal to
None.
none. Okay. Okay. Then I'll write the loop while. Now here I am assuming that user will always enter x as an integer value, right? We are not considering here the error. What we learned last time? Error. We learned something, right? 2 days back.
Try and
Something
accept.
like
Try and next
so
one.
what is it called as?
Validation.
input validation. So let's write x not equal to 0. That is okay. Then I'll write colon and I press enter because this is the editor specifically designed for Python. It will understand that colon means a block of the statement. So as soon as I press enter, it will shift, it will do auto indenting. Okay. Here I'll write x is equal to, this statement is okay. X is equal to int input enter integer value colon. This is okay. We are combined two statements together. Then
Yes.
we'll say
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Print.
print. Let me write more here. You have entered x. That is okay. Okay, and we'll say print okay. That is okay. Now let's run the program. Okay. So let me enter 45. You have entered 45. 78. You have entered 70. Then 69. Now as soon as I write 0, you have entered 0 and it will stop. That is clear, this part.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the PPT. We can also make this while loop kind of a definite loop by defining the variable x instead of taking input from the user, which was basically indefinite. You can also make it definite simply by adding an incremental operator. So we can have x is equal to 0 while x less than or equal to 5, print x plus equal to 1, print n. Now can anyone tell me what will be the output of this program? 1 2 3 4 5.
0 1 2 3 4 5.
Will it be in the same line or different line? One below other.
Different kinds, sir.
Yeah, because every time you write a execute a new print statement, the printing starts from a new line. So let's look at the output. The output will be 0 1 2 3 4 5. That is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll look at something called as for loops. Now for loops are definite loops. So to become a definite loop, they need to have a starting point, end point, and how they are going from starting point to end. That also should be defined beforehand for the for loop because it is a definite loop. So if it is a definite loop, it needs to have everything defined already. Okay, then and then it will become a definite. So let's look at for loop syntax. So for loop syntax is like this: for target in sequence colon and then below is the block. Now we'll see what is the target. We'll see what is the sequence. We'll see both of them. The sequence means you can have sequence of variables or sequence of numbers. So let's look at this is definite. Sequence is already defined. So because sequence is defined, target is like a pointer. It will go and point something in sequence. So it will go to the first element of the sequence. Sequence is like a set of variables. Okay. So what target will do, it will go to that first variable. Okay. And then it will execute the block. Then it will go to the next part of the sequence, execute the block. It will keep on doing that till it reaches the end of the sequence. So at the end of the sequence, it will do the running of the block, and then it will go outside the sequence. Means it will say that no sequence is over, so block will not be executed. So it will remain. So target is like suppose there are 4 elements in the sequence, then it will target will go to the first element, second element, third element, fourth element, and every time it goes to a element, the block will be executed. So basically block will be executed 4 times. As soon as targets is over with the fourth state element, it will say, okay, everything is over from the sequence. So execution of the block will be stopped. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's see how to create a sequence. So a sequence can be created by a simple command called as range. Okay, so range has 3 inputs. One is start, end, and step. So first element is start, second element is end, and third element is step. Let's take an example. We have a range 0, 10, 2. Now here it means it says that you start from 0, go up to 10 with step of 2. So it will take 0, 2, 3, sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8, but go to 10 not including 10. So end is never included in the range. So answer will be like this: 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, but it will not include 10. That is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Range 5. If you write in a short range 5, it simply means 0, 5, 1. This is what it means. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and stop. So if you want starting should be 0, step set should be 1, then you don't have to write. If you just write the end point and you don't write anything else, the range will consider starting is 0 and step size is 1 by default. So start and end, or start and step, are by default is considered 0 and 1 if you don't provide it. If you provide it, then those values will be different. If you don't provide that data, the Python will consider those are starting is 0 and step size is 1. Okay, so let's see here. So for the statement says for x in the range 0, 10, 2. So range will create a sequence 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And now x is a kind of a target or a pointer. So it will go to first element, which is 0. So x becomes 0. So when you write print x, the x is printed as 0. Then in the next iteration, it will become 2. So when you write print x, you will get x is equal to 2. Now if you go to the next point, it becomes 4, then 6, then 8, and the range is over or the sequence is over and it will stop. This is clear. The x takes the value of the sequence, elements of the sequence. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because 0, 10, 2, everything is defined in the range, it becomes a definite. Now here it is, range is definite. Similarly, we can also work with strings, because strings is what? String is nothing but sequence of characters, right? String is what? Now you look at this string, name is equal to single quotation mark Rohit. Now it is a sequence of what? R O H I T, right? So when I write for I in name, what will happen? And then the block is print I. Now what is the first value I will take?
R.
R, right? And it will print capital R. Then again it will go to the for loop, for statement. Then now I will take O value, and it will keep on doing that till the end of the string. So end of the string is Rohit T. So it will stop at T. So you'll get output like this. Now the question is that in the previous case, here the 10 was never printed, right? Which was the end of the sequence, because range was taken from 0 to 8, right? And here the sequence itself contains T also, not like previous case where 10 was not at all part of the sequence. So here what will happen? It will take R O H I T and everything is printed. This is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now here if you see, the name itself is definite because we have defined what is name, or a sequence of characters that we already defined in the form of string. Okay. So let's look at two more statements called as continue and break. Before that, before I go there, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before I go to continue and break, let me go to the can anyone just read this statement? What is written? Exercise. Hello.
In this
Yes.
exercise,
Yeah.
in this exercise, you will create a program that computes the average of a collection of values entered by the user.
Hmm.
The user will enter 0 as a sentinel
Sentinel.
value to indicate that no further values will be provided. Your program should display an appropriate error message. The first value entered by the user is 0.
Okay. So what it says is that the user is going to enter a set of values, and what is our job is to compute average of those values, right? And how the computer will come to know that now user has stopped entering? By a special value called as 0. That's why the 0 value is called as sentinel value. Sentinel value means in a loop that value has a special importance, that value is connected to a particular action. So in this case, 0 is connected to the action that the loop is over, or entering of the values is over. That is what is sentinel value means. So let's write a program which will do this job. Okay, and we should have a one more condition. What is the condition? Your program should display an appropriate error message if the first value entered by the user is 0. That is clear.
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do now, we'll first just do it with the first two para, only up to this. Then third para, which is a printing an error message when first value entered is 0, we'll see later. So okay, so I'm not writing the first part. I'll just start with the program. So here we want to find out average. So let me write average will be AVG. So I'll write AVG is equal to none. So I created a variable AVG. Then to find out average, what I should do? I should have a sum, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what should be the value of sum before entering anything?
0.
0.
0. So let me write sum is equal to 0, because when the program will come here, so we will create sum, but its value will be 0. Then we need to have number of elements that we are going to enter, right? So we have to store that number somewhere, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So we'll write I is equal to, sorry, what I'm writing, I is equal to 0. So this is like a kind of a number of I will show you how many number of the values are entered. Now let's go to the loop. Now here, what kind of loop I should use? For loop or while loop?
So for loop,
Why for loop?
सर while loop for हम लोग को पता नहीं कि कितना एंटर करेगा नंबर.
Right. So we don't know how many values a user is going to enter. So what we'll do? We'll write a while. So while, let's say we will take one more variable, x is equal to none, which will be used for storing the values. So we'll say while x is equal to, sorry, not equal to 0, we are going to execute this one. Now what we'll do, because
What is I here?
I is the number of values entered, because we want to find out average. Na?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what we'll do here, I'll just write a command that I is plus equal to 0. Okay, sorry, equal to 1. Sorry. So it says that now I have incremented my I, assuming that now user is going to enter the value. Fine. So then let's write uh, x is equal to int. What will be here inside? The user is going to enter the value for
Input.
input, right? Int input. So we are going to assume here that we are not going to do the means value input validation here. Enter the integer value. Okay. Enter. Now here, then what will happen? Sum now should be incremented again, right?
Yes, sir.
So what will be that?
Sum plus x.
X. That is okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what we'll do? Now we'll come outside the loop because this will continue, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mm, mm,
Could you explain how sum plus plus equals to x?
okay, let me write in simple one. It should be sum
Sum plus
plus x. That is okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
And let me delete this part also. First, let me keep it as simple as possible. So we'll let's say if x is not equal to 0. Okay, let me write here I is equal to I plus. We'll see. There is a small bug here, but that I'll explain you later on. Okay, so let's write next thing. So what will be the next part? AVG is equal to sum divided by I, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
There is a small bug. We'll address that bug later. So let me write print average is AVG. Let's run this one. Oh, it will ask for a value. Let's say 2, then 3, then 4, and let me enter 0. And the average is 2.25. Now, how many values? What is the sum? 2 plus 3 plus 4. What is that? 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 divided by 3, it should be 3.
3.
But what we are getting is 2.25.
yes.
Yes.
Does it
Why
come
we are?
with the 0 also as another, right? Like
Yeah, right. So what we should do?
Sir,
just
You
write
can do
minus
I
one.
minus
Yeah.
1.
yeah, I minus 1.
Yeah, simplest way is that you put I minus 1 here. There has to be a bracket, huh? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Run this one. So 2, 3, 4, 0, and answer is 3. Good.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Because it
Yes,
was
sir.
calculated I extra last 0, also considered last 0. That's why we are doing minus. This is the simplest way. Now we want to enter a condition here. What is the condition? Your program should display an appropriate error message if the first value entered by the user is 0. So how will come to know that first value entered by the user is 0?
if x is equal to 0, then we can put some condition like if x is equal to 0, display this message.
So what we'll do, we'll say if x is equal to 0, okay, or 0. Cool. Then what should I do here next?
Print the message that
error.
you want.
Print. Okay, print. Let me write in short error. That is okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, we have to remember that now I is equal to I plus 1 is also done, and sum is equal to sum plus x is also done. Sum is equal to sum plus x is not a problem because x is anyway 0. But we don't want I should be incremented by 1 in this case. So what we'll do? We'll just try to neutralize that. So by writing I is equal to I minus 1 if my x is equal to 0 at the first go. But here x is equal to 0 is not just the condition. We have to write and what? There are two conditions. X is equal to 0 and what? It should be the first number. So how to find out whether it's the first number or not?
I is equals to 1.
I is equal to 0. Na? We started with
Achha,
0,
sorry, yeah, 0.
right? So if both the conditions are satisfied, that x is equal to 0 and I is equal to 0, then and then there is error. X is equal to 0 is not the error, right? Anyway, that is the end of the program. So this is clear, this part?
So
Yes, sir. So then we'll have to correct this average sum part and
That
write
any
sum divided by I there because we have already subtracted. I mean,
so here it says, so let's run this program and see. This program is clear. Someone was saying something. Sorry,
yeah, I was asking if I mean that if statement color condition that I equals 0, can we replace it with sum equals 0?
yeah, even that is also okay.
Sir, if we know that the first term is equals to 0, then what is the use of line number 9? Because it will anyway show error and the program will stop.
No, we are not writing anywhere the program will stop. It will just say error that don't enter. So we can say don't enter first value as 0. That is what it will say. That is okay. It simply says that you enter at least one non-zero value. That is what this program says.
Sir, I equal to I minus 1 क्यों किया यहाँ पे प्रिंट के नीचे?
Because after this, I is equal to I plus 1 will be done.
Correct.
So we don't want that first 0 should be counted.
Restart the loop.
So we have to reset I because I is getting incremented by 1 in the next statement. We are just writing I is equal to I minus 1.
Understood.
Or even if you write I is equal to minus 1, that is also okay because anyway I is equal to 0 when it is 1. Okay, so let's start. Let's see first it works like a previous program. So let's enter, that is 2, 3, 4 and 0. The answer is 3. So it is just working as like a previous. Now let's try to see if whether the added condition is executing or not. So if you write 0, error, don't enter first value as 0, average. No, can anyone tell me what is the problem here?
so we shouldn't get average if the first number is 0.
But there is one more problem. Problem is that as soon as x becomes x is equal to 0, what will happen as soon as it goes here, it just sees the condition x is equal to 0, it will come outside.
Yes, sir.
So it should say while x is not equal to 0
And
and I is
I is not equal to 0.
no, again that will create a problem because then it won't enter the loop at all because I is equal to 0 anyways.
Can we create a
Sir,
separate while loop for x equal to 0?
Or we can simply say here x is equal to none. How it's now we are just taking out 0 from x. That is okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Enter the integer value. Let's say if I enter 0. क्या हो गया? No, then it comes here. So x is equal to got it. If I write none here, the problem is that it creates an issue here because then you are like sum is an integer type, x is a none type. You cannot add integer type with a none type. That is what it creates here, the problem. Where both are of not same type, and addition between these two types is not right. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So we have to think something. It's a easy solution, but
Sir,
huh.
if you set the condition on print that if only average is equal to not equal to 0, you print average, or otherwise you print the error.
No, but okay, that is one way that you just stop program. That is one way. Here, what was my aim was to tell the user that it's an error, enter non-zero value. So we have to force user to print a non-zero value. That is, if you are saying that here itself you print the average if it is non-zero. This is what you are saying, right?
No, I was saying that we should add a condition for print that if that we should print average only if the average is not equal to 0, or else print the error message.
But then that will come here, this part, not in the loop. That is like if user enters 0 at the starting point, you are simply saying the program is going to end. That is one way of doing the program. That is right. Other way is that you can tell the user you cannot enter 0 as the first character, first value. So please enter something else. So in that case, we are not going to stop the program, but rather we are going to keep on entering the value. Now that easily can be done by a small modification in this lines. But we need one more command which we are not learned yet. So I'll teach you that command. Then once we enter that command here, you will understand that it becomes very easy. So let's go to that command first.
So, so I have one query. So in that, so just go to that program once again. So in the program, here we have to give an input, right? So it asks us that enter the integer value. So how does a program decide that it has to ask us how many times it has to ask us that enter the integer value? So here in this case, when you run the program, it has asked you 4 times that enter the integer value.
No, that is because on the 5th line I have entered 0. It is indefinite, na?
Yeah.
Yeah, this can be done. See here. Oh, एक minute. I made a mistake. Now, just check the program. Can anyone tell me is it okay now? Now the aim of this program, if user enters 0 as a starting point, it will give you the error message to the user, and again it will ask to enter the value. So till user don't enter a non-zero value as its first value, the program will continue. And after first value is non-zero, after that if user enters 0, then it will print average value of the whatever the values it has entered. How does this part sound? I just took I is equal to I plus 1 and sum is equal to sum plus x up.
Yes, sir. Understood.
This should work, right? I think this
Yes,
is the
sir.
simplest thing. So let me run this one. So let's see further whether it's working like when this particular condition is not considered. So let me 2, 3, 4. This should give us 3 values. So this is working with our previous program. Now let's look at the modification. So again, I'm going to run the program. Now if I enter 0, what should happen? It should give me the error message, but it should ask me a new value again. So again, enter the integer value. If I enter 0 again, it will go do that. So till I enter 0 as the first value, it will do that. Now if I enter 12, now if I enter 0, then it will give me average as 0. This is okay. See here.
Yes, sir.
Now it is clear. Whenever I entered 0, 0, it's saying error, don't enter the first value. Till I enter a non-zero value, it was giving me error message. As soon as I entered a zero value, non-zero value, then it worked fine because then I entered value 0 and that is okay. So let me run again. Clear. Run. So it is asking for a value. Let me enter 0. So it's saying error. And let's take the previous 3 values. And it is giving me average as 3.0. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Anyone having a doubt here?
No, sir.
Sir, what changes did you make?
Hmm?
What changes did you make?
See, what we did was that we took I is equal to I minus 1 because we don't want to count that particular value, right? But the problem was with x is equal to none because if you don't put x is equal to none, then it used to come outside the loop. That is clear.
Yes, yes.
Previously, what was the case was this two statement was after the if statement. So whenever we used to write x is equal to none, then next command was sum is equal to sum plus x. But there was a problem because sum is an integer, x is a none in that case. So it used to create a problem there. So what we did, we just shifted those two statements before if statement, and that has solved the problem.
Understood, sir.
Yeah, you can take a screenshot of this particular program. And what I am expecting is that, see, I have written the program with your help. I want you to write this program, understand this program, execute it. You can make changes in this and just see whatever you are doing. If you make changes, you will understand how things are happening. Now let's try to see few more things in the loop. So there is something called as continue statement. So there are two special statements called as continue and break. Let's see what is a continue statement. So it says, like, suppose name is equal to Rohit, and for I in name, if I is equal to character H, then continue, and then print I. So what this will do now, whenever I is equal to H, the statement continue will be executed. In all other cases, statement continue will not be executed. That is clear. So continue statement will be executed if and only if I is equal to H. So when I will be equal to H in the third iteration, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I will be capital R, then O, then H. That time continue statement will be executed. When I is equal to I and T, that time continue statement will not be executed. Now understand, in the fourth iteration, I will be equal to I, but here this I in the program is a name of the variable, and that other I in the Rohit is basically a character. So those are different. Huh? Remember, here I can be equal to I, no problem. So let's look at what will be the output of this program. So let's write this program instead of showing it here. Let me take someone's name. Amina, I'll take your name. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So name is equal to Amina, right? Now, let me say for I or J, you can take anything. Let me take J in name. Okay, colon. And now what we'll do, we'll just see how the continue statement works. So you can say print, sorry, if
If J is
equal to a character. So that's why single quotation mark. Now let's say here we are talking about say n. So colon, enter, continue. Okay, enter, and here. Now what we'll do, now this is in for loop, now in for loop. We are not in if part, we are not in if part, we are in for loop. We'll say print J. Now what it will do, just first let's take out this. I'm putting hash so that it is deactivated. So I have just command for J in name, print J. Now let's see what happens in this particular. Run the program. It's AMINA. So it is printing each character one by one. Okay, now let's activate this continue command. So continue command is seen only if J is equal to n. Let's see what happens in this particular. Now what happened in this case?
It skipped the letter N.
Okay, but where is the printing of the n? It has not skipped the letter n. It has skipped the printing of letter n. Now, where was the statement for printing of letters? It is the 6th line, right?
Yes.
yes, sir.
So what happened was, whenever a computer executes a command called as continue, it will stop that particular iteration. So anything below that in the loop will be ignored, and then again it will go to the next one. So J was A was printed. J was M, it was printed. J was I, it was printed. When J become N, it encounters statement continue. So continue statement means ignore rest of the statements in the loop. So the next, there is the rest of the statement is nothing but print J. So it has not printed N. It has J has taken the value N, but it has not printed here because print J was skipped or ignored. Okay, but when J became next value, which is A, it printed properly. So got the idea what continue means?
Yes, sir.
Now let's look at one more step. Here. Okay, so same thing for Rohit, and there is one more something called as break. So let's look at what is break. So if I run this one, you can see what happened.
Everything after
Or
J
it
equals
comes
n.
out of the loop.
Yeah, it came out of the loop. To confirm that, let's write a statement after the loop. So we'll say print end. So we can see the end is printed after I. That means as soon as J became N, it just simply came out of the loop. Everything else was simply, so as soon as it saw the statement break, it stopped the loop, came outside. It's like an emergency break. So stop the execution of the loop, come outside. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let's try to use this statements here. Okay, we can say here. So let me put this to here itself down. Now what we'll do, we'll just delete these two, and I'll say x is equal to none, and then I'll say continue. So what this continue will do?
It will ignore this increment of I and the matlab sum part, and then it will go up and ask the user to enter the integer value again.
Yeah, so now here we don't have to worry about x, which is none variable, is getting added with sum because now it is ignored. Now suppose we run this program, it is just like previous program. So let's check first with the standard values 2, 3, 4 and 0. So it gives you 3.0. So it is working properly. Now let's look at with the that specific input. So let me put 0. So enter, don't enter first value as 0. Then again, if I enter 0, again it will say something. Then I enter 2, 3, 4. Last value, sentinel value is 0. It gives you 3.0. This is clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have one more thing to do that you will do it by yourself. So can anyone read out the exercise?
Write a program to ask the user to enter an integer number and display some of the integers of this number. Example, if user enters 45, the output should be 9.
Okay, good. Now can anyone tell me how the logic should be, what kind of logic we should have? Here user is going to enter, right?
Yes, sir.
So how you will find out the sum?
Using while loop.
While loop. And what will do? But
So we can use mod and separate all of the integers.
Okay, that is one way of doing it. You can keep on using mod, but every time you have to increase the power of 10. First time the power of 10 will be 0. Then first time it power of 10 will be 1. Then 100, it should become 100. Means power of 10 will be 2. Next time it is 3, like that. This is right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is one way of doing it, but there is a very short way of doing it. The reason being is that whenever user enters a number, it is stored as a string. Hello.
Yes, sir.
It is stored
Yes,
as
sir.
a string. So if user has entered a number, say 45, it is stored as character 4 and character 5. So you already got separated characters. So what you can do? You can use for loop. See, you can access 4 and 5 separately, na, because it is still the string.
Yes, sir, but adding, matlab, we have to perform addition of the digits, and if that is a string,
so you
then
just take so do one thing, na, instead of, see, for I in name, so it is going to take, say, instead of Rohit there is 45, so I will take 4, so convert it to int and add it to sum.
yes, sir.
Then next time it will take 5, convert it to int, add it to sum. That is a more simpler way, easier, straightforward way of doing it. As one of the students has said rightly, if you have a number, say 345, you can keep on dividing by 10 and take a remainder. So 345 you divide by 10, so 5 becomes the remainder. So store the 5, add the 5 to the sum, and subtract that subtract the sum from the number. So it becomes 340. Now you divide by 100, so it becomes 300. So 40 is the remainder, 4 is the remainder. So 40 is the remainder. So that you can take it as another number 4. So that can be stored again separately. Like that, you can keep on doing it. Hello.
Also, we can do the mod of the number, take the last number, which would be the remainder, and then after that, right after that, we can divide the number by 10, like not mod, but divide. So
yeah, so 345 mod 10, so you will get a 5 outside. Then you divide by 10, so it becomes 34. Again take mod by 10, right? That is more easier way. And then you again divide by 10, so 4 becomes out. That you store or that you add to the sum. Again divide by 10, it becomes 3. So mod 10, 3 comes outside. Now it is 0. As soon as the number becomes 0, stop. That is right.
yes, sir.
Yeah, that is good. So that can be done here. The advantage is that we are asked to write a program to ask the user to enter the integer. So user has entered the integer which is already in the form of string. So if it is in the form of string, the numbers are already separated as each character of the string, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then why to convert it to the number and separate and then separate them? We can directly use that. That is also in this particular thing. But if the number is there as an integer value, then as you said, the same thing we should do. Okay, good. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Got it. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead. Yeah, this is done. So we are done with this part. This exercise we already done. We already done that. So I want you to take a screenshot of this exercise and do this exercise using the for loop where you can call each element of this tree. Any doubt about loops?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me go ahead. We'll go to the next part of the lecture called as functions. Okay. And here I am going to, I'll extend my lecture by some 5-10 minutes. Huh? I have to explain few more things. So lecture might get extended by 5 or 10 minutes. I'll make sure that it don't get extend, it does not extend beyond that. Okay, so next part we are going to learn is something called as functions. Okay, so in mathematics we have already learned about functions. So let's see what are the objectives of this part of the lecture. So what we are going to do is that we are going to get introduced to the functions. Then we'll understand its advantages, and then we'll define and use the functions. We'll learn how to use the function, how to define the functions, and how to use the functions. Okay, and something called as scope of variables. But scope of variable, I'll keep it as a self-study. So scope of variable means a part of the program where variable is active. So in general, variables are active only in a specific part of the program, not everywhere. Okay. What does mean active means you can use that variable. That is called scope of the variable. So if you write x is equal to 3 and then you write x is equal to x divided by 4, then that means x divided by 4 is like you are taking some action with variable x. So that is like a part of the scope of the variable. So this scope of the variable will be a self-study part. Okay, so we'll start with functions. So what is a function? So we are familiar with function in mathematics. So what are the functions in mathematics? What are the functions in mathematics? Hello.
It is a relation between at least two variables.
Okay.
If you put in, if you give something to it, it will give some output. That's
Okay, right. Very good. So it's like some mathematical statement which has a fixed form. So you provide a variable to that, it will give you some output, right? So it looks like this. Say a simple function gx. So gx is a function. So it has a mathematical operation x cubed by 4 plus x by 3 minus 6. So here it is like this. You provide x value to the gx function, it will give you some output, and the output is defined by this particular relationship. So you give the input x, it will do some operation on x, and will give you the output as gx. That is clear. So suppose we provide a function with a value 5, we'll get a value of 26.92. That is okay.
Yes, sir.
We can call the function by any value. So any possible value of x is an input for this particular function. So gx represent the definition of a function. So this mathematical expression is nothing but definition of the function gx. Okay, so it's like this. You got a black box called as gx. You provide a value, you get the output. It is as simple as this. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, okay. In function in programming languages is very similar to this, but instead of a mathematical operation, it got a statement or set of statements. So function in programming language are set of statements with specific intention. So here in the mathematical expression, x was used with a specific intention. So gx was something. So x was used to first to cube, then divide by 4 plus. So there were few operations on x, all had a same intention for a gx. Similarly, in programming, function is basically some set of statement, okay, with a specific intention. So intention can be anything. Intention means a particular action you want to take, okay. They can be defined and called just like mathematical functions. So basically functions are like a small boxes. You provide some data to that, it will give you a result out of that. Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Just like mathematical function. So a function, you provide a input data called as call, and it will return a value which is sometimes optional, in the sense that there are functions which you can call but don't return anything. Okay, some functions are like you call them, they'll provide you in return something, just like mathematical functions. Now let's see what is this. Why to write? First we'll try to understand why we should write a function in programming. So we can decompose a hello.
Return means the output here, right?
Yeah, out. So it gives you a return value. So output is given in terms of some values in variable or variables. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here it can have no return, means nothing is written from the function, or it can have single value, or even it can have multiple values. That is also possible. So function can return n number of values. Okay. Now before we go to the function, let's try to see why to write a function. As you can see, once we write this way, see when you are looking at this function, nothing is written what is inside the function. I just label it as a function. What is inside this box is not written, right? Hello.
Yes, sir. Right. Sir.
So till I know that what is a call or input to the function and what will be the output of the function or return, I don't have to worry about what is inside the function. If I know input and output, then I am okay with that, because I know if I provide this input, I'll get this particular output. If I provide another input, I'll get this particular output. So I know the relation between input and output for a given function. So I don't have to worry what is inside here. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that way gives me a kind of a help. What kind of help? So we can decompose a large complex program into small parts. That means we can create functions for each part of the program, and we can call those functions whenever we want. So those functions, once the functions will call, they'll provide a return value. Okay, so your large program, which is say 100 lines, can be divided into say 20 lines functions of 5 functions. So that is okay, because now your function is getting break down to a small boxes, where each box has a specific input and specific output. So that way the program, the complex program, becomes a simple program. This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now because we can divide a complex program in parts, now what we can do, suppose 4 students are working on a single program, what they can do is that they can't write the same program at the same time, right? So what they can do, they can just distribute the load. So a person can say, okay, we got 3 functions, let me write first function, you write second function, and third person will write the third function. We all know what should be the input, what should be the output for each function. So we'll write the functions accordingly. So it's like a distribution of the workload to the members of the team. This is again reusing the code. What is a mean of reusing the code? Same function can be used multiple times. So we are reusing the code. You don't have to write the code again. Okay. Then it reduces chance of errors and makes debugging and correcting the programs easy, because you are decomposing the large program. Okay, once the complex program becomes a simple program because of the decomposition, finding out error becomes easy, right? Debugging and correcting the program also becomes easy. It's a product of first statement, right? Last two statements are nothing but product of first statement. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what function does? Function does a more important thing. Functions allow us to focus on the main idea of the program. So any sub processes can be written in the form of functions. So we don't have to worry about those sub processes. We can just focus on the main idea for the program, and we can just focus there and work on that. And we can just write every part as a function. So that way your main idea remains in front of you. Don't get bogged down because of the small part of the program. So focusing on the main idea becomes the easier part if you have functions with. Okay. Now there are two type of functions called as built-in function and user-defined. So what is built-in function? Built-in functions are functions which are already there in the Python. So when you download a Python, those built-in functions are already there. Okay, you don't have to write from your side. We are using those functions, but we don't know these are called as functions. So let's look at these built-in functions. There are other type of functions called as user-defined functions. So user-defined functions are functions which we are going to write from our side. So you will write a code for that particular function. Those are called as user-defined functions. Is it clear? Built-in function and user-defined function.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's look at the built-in function first. Then we look at the user-defined function. So these are the built-in functions which we have already used in our programs. So first built-in function we have used is print. So print bracket, and you have to put an argument. Argument means some variable or a string. So that is like an input to a function called as print. Now what is the output? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
What is the output of print argument?
The argument.
No, output is of this print argument function is nothing. It does not return anything. It does the job of printing on the screen. Hello. It does
The
a job of
meaning?
printing. Means, see the print statement, it prints whatever is the argument on the screen. That is what its job is. But it does not return anything to the program. It just prints. Printing is not returning something to the program.
Right.
Right. Now look at the second one, type variable. Now this returns the value to the program. So when you write type X, you get the type of the variable X, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then there is something called as len, a function called as len. So function len takes the input as a string and it calculates how many characters are there in the particular string. So if you write of say Rohit, then it will give you len string will give you x is equal to 5. Now we have seen one more function called as range. Now this range function takes multiple inputs. What are the multiple inputs? Start, end, and step. And it will create that sequence. And the sequence is written to variable m. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now how to see whether a function returns a value or not. So let's see here. Let me write x is equal to 998, and then I say y is equal to type x. Okay, so x is given to a variable type, and you get value stored in y. So say print y. So it says class int, so it is stored in variable y. So this, whatever the output of type x, stored in variable y. So let's write z is equal to print see z is nothing. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's look at the variable z. Is the variable z is there? Non-type object. Can you see that?
Yes.
None type.
Yes, sir.
It is created. It is created because we are writing z is equal to print statement. Z is created because of this statement, but z has no value because print don't provide any value to z. It is not returning any value because it is not returning any value, and z is created. Now z is without any type, right? So what should be the type of z? None, right? So if I write print z, what should I get? None. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got it now. Print does the job of printing on the screen. It does not return anything, but type, range, all those things, they return something. Now let's see type. So it's basically gives a sequence. So z. So let me delete all these variables. Let me write here. Say, okay, x is equal to range 5. Now it is a sequence, so you will see that is a range object. Object means it's kind of a box where the values are stored. Okay, if I write x, it will give range from 0 to 5. Okay, if I say print x, okay, it is printing in short range 0 comma 5, nothing, but it is not printing individual character, but it is saying it is a range from 0 to 5 with step size 1. So it is just giving this, it is not printing individual, but it is saying it is a range. Is it clear now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is built-in functions. We have seen all type of built-in. Now let's look at user defined function. So what is a user defined function? It's a function it's defined by the user. Now the function need to be called. What do you mean by calling the function? Here when we say print statement, print, what we are doing here, we are calling the function print, say 6. When I say print 6, okay, what I'm doing, I'm calling the function print, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
I am asking Python to execute a function called as print. But if I want to execute a function print, what should be the first case? That particular function should be there, right?
Yes.
So if I am defining a function, if I am going to call the function, what should be the condition? The function must be defined before it is called. The function should be defined already. So the computer should know what is a function before it is called. That is clear. Statement inside a function will get executed only when it is called. So whatever inside the function is always executed whenever it is called, not before that or not after that. Okay, let's see a let's see a syntax for functions. So function has a syntax like this: def, so it is defining, def function name. So here you will write a name of the function, bracket the parameters. So you have parameter 1, parameter 2, and so on. So you can add as many parameters as you want as per your requirement. Then colon. So it says the block of the statements which are part of this function are going to start from the next line. Then you have a statement called as statements. So basically all the statements inside a function. Then return the return value. So any value, whichever value you want to return, you can return that particular value. And as soon as you write return, function is over. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So here in this function, input are parameter 1, parameter 2, and output is return underscore values. That is the output. Okay. Now these are the parameters. Okay. And how it is called, this is a definition of the program, sorry, function. And how it is called, it is called this. So if it is going to return something, you will write name of the variable is equal to function name, bracket, argument 1, argument 2, and so on. So here what will happen? Argument 1 will go to parameter 1, argument 2 will go to parameter 2, and so on. So corresponding arguments will go to corresponding parameters. Is it clear?
Yes.
And once this function is executed, the return value will be given to variable. That is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now suppose you don't have a return statement. That means your program is not returning anything. In that case, what will happen? You can just write function name, bracket, argument 1, argument 2, so on. So you know you are not returning anything. So there is no need of storing anything here. That is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me write here. Let's say, let's write a program here. This is a program to calculate power of a number. So let's say we give 2 and 3. So it will calculate 2 raised to 3. That is okay? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So let's have a function. So code is def. Then we'll say power. Let me write, because power word is already there. Power type of function is already there in the computer. So it's me write PER. So PER means power. I'm not using the word power because it is already there in Python. So let me call it as PER. Now what parameter it should have? It's how many parameters it should have? That means input it should take
2 inputs.
2 inputs, because one will be the base, another will be the power. So let me write that those as A, comma B. That is okay. So I am saying the first parameter will be A, second parameter will be B. So I have created a 2 variables A and B. So first parameter is A and second parameter is labeled as B. That is clear.
Yes.
Now let's write our program. So we want to do A raised to B. So for I is equal to 1, then I'll write for, sorry, while what should be the case? While I is less than or equal to B, okay, colon. Let me write here. Now we want the power, right? So let me write product PRD. So sorry, PRD is equal to 1, because we want to do multiplication. That's why I'm putting PRD is equal to 1. We'll write PRD is equal to PRD multiplying what? A, because we want to repeat A that many times. Okay. And I is equal to I plus 1. So now we are going to increase I by 1. This is clear? Hello. Is this part of the program is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we are keep on multiplying PRD with A. Okay. How many times? B times. Huh? At the end of this program, we'll get A raised to B. So now we'll say return what? Now what value should return? What I should return from here? Hello.
Return product.
PRD, right?
Yes.
I should return PRD. That is okay. This is clear. This definition of the function is clear to everyone.
So
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's write x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 3, say. Okay. Then now what I will do, this is a definition. Understand? This is a definition. So let me write hash definition of the function. Okay, this is clear to everyone. Now our main program will start from here. Main program. This is the main program. This is just a definition. Because we want to use this function, we have to define it. So we have defined that function. So let me write now z is equal to, now I have to call that function. What I will do, z is equal to pr per bracket. Now I have to provide the arguments. So arguments are, say, x raised to y, suppose I want to do. Then we will write x comma y. Now what will happen when this statement is executed? X value is given to A and y value is given to B. That is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now let's say print z. Okay. Now let's look at the output. $64. Is it clear? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. Let me write few more things here. I am writing print. We are in function main. So main itself is a function. Okay. Then I'll write here print we are in function per. Okay. I'll write here print we are back in the main program is called as main function. Okay. So if I execute, what I should get? What will be the output? Hello. Class. What should be the output?
64.
Not only 64. There are print statements. How the print statements will be seen?
It will be we are in the function main, then z it will be executed. Then we are in back in the main function, then print z equals to 64.
So let's see. So we are in function main. We are in function per power function. We are back in main function, and so z is printed. That is clear now. How see, line number 18 is calling the function. That's why we are inside the function. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We can have very simple thing. Say instead of returning anything, what we can do is that I can just say print per here itself. So now PRD, sorry, PRD here itself. Okay, so instead of that, what I'll do, I am not returning anything. So here you see, now I have deleted the statement called as return. So I am not returning anything. So let me take out the statement also. Okay, so let me write here print end of function per. Okay, so in this case, what is happening? The function is getting called. It will take the values. Is it returning the values?
No.
No.
No. It is still printing the value, but now printing is done inside the function itself, not outside, not in the main thing. So we'll get 64, but end of the function will come after that. We are back in the main function. Can you see the printing statement now? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, if by mistake or by design, anything you can call, if I write here z is equal to per x comma y. Now what will happen in that case? Print, say, I'll say print x, sorry, z. Now can anyone tell me what will be the output? Now a function is not returning anything. Still I am saying z is equal to that function. Now what should be the output? What should be the print z will do? Hello.
So print 64.
That is okay. Print 64 will be printed. What will be the value of z? See, per function is not returning anything.
It
But
will be
z is,
none.
huh?
It will be none.
Right. We have seen for the print. No? You are right. We have already seen for the print. Print is not giving anything in return. Still, when we write z is equal to print statement, we got none. So if I run this program, final statement should be none. Can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So even if you call a function which is not returning anything, then you will have z equals equal to print, sorry, none. In some cases, return can be conditional in the sense that we can write here one more statement. So let me delete this one. I can put a conditional kind of print statement, return statement. So I can say if PRD is, sorry, क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? I'm writing in plain English. If PRD is greater than 1, that means whatever number you have entered is not 1, because if you enter number 1 or y is equal to 0, then if PRD is greater than 1, then return PRD, else print here we can say that your power is 0. That is okay. PRD1 means power is equal to 0, right? Hello. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm doing is that I am simply doing something like this. If my power is 0, then it will not enter in not return anywhere. But power is non-zero, then it will give you a value. So let's say it is y is equal to anyway 3. So what it should do, it should return a value. So we are getting 60. But suppose we write y is equal to 0. In that case, it should print a statement. So we are, your power is 0. You can see this statement has printed and our z becomes null. That is okay.
हाँ, यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने PRD ओनली ग्रेटर देन 1 रखा है ना, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू नहीं रखा है। तो अगर y इक्वल टू 1 डालेंगे तो क्या आएगा?
Y is equal to 1 will give you non-zero. Four now, 4:1.
राइट।
This is clear. It is just to show you that you can have return statement in condition. So in specific cases, you can have a return statement. In other specific cases, the return statement will not be there. So even return statement can be a conditional thing. This is clear. Hello.
Yes sir.
Okay. So am I audible?
Yes sir.
Okay. Sorry, I think I went outside the. Okay. You can see my screen. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me go to functions. This is yeah, this is done. Sorry, this is for the loops functions. We are here. What is happening? एक 1 second. Loops को बंद कर देता हूँ मैं. Save. Let me go ahead with the functions. Yeah. So you got the idea. We can store a function in a separate file, and that function can be called easy. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what we can do is that we can store functions of the similar type, or similar type of things can be stored together in a single file, and this set of function is called as module. The module can be called means all those set of functions can be called with a single command. Okay, called as from module name import asterisk, or import module name as m, or import module name. Anything will do. Any of this statement will do the job. So let me show you what does it mean. So okay, so here let me go here. Now see, mathematical operations we are learn, right? Asterisk, multiplication, division, all those things, right? But there are many more functions, mathematical functions in mathematics. Those are like sine, cos, log, anti-log, sin h, cos h, right? Hello, power,
Sir.
power, x raised to y, all those things, right? Hello, hello.
Sir. Yes,
Ah,
sir.
so now those function programs for those functions, for all these things like sine, cos, everything is stored in a in different functions, and all those functions are stored in a single file called as math. Now this math file is called as math module. You can call that math module as import math. Okay, so when you say import math, basically you're loading that file having all the functions. Now suppose we want to call a function called as power, which does x raised to y power. Okay, x raised to y. So we can say math. This is the file. So let me write a variable z is equal to math dot power. I think the command is power only, power, say 2 comma 3, and okay, oh sorry, it should be power. What happened? Okay, एक minute, clear z is equal to math dot pow and bracket 2 comma 3. Okay, and if you print z, you will get 8.0. That is clear. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Here what
Yes,
happened,
yes.
math is a module where there are many functions. In that math model, we want to call a specific function called as pow, POW. Okay, now what is the job of this pow function? It returns the value of first parameter raised to second parameter, right? So now we have how to call a specific function. It's very simple. We write the module name dot the specific function name. That is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, you can have z is equal to math dot cos. So it will give you cos of a number which is in the bracket, but the number inside the bracket should be the value in radians. Okay, so let me write this as 0. So it will give you cos of 0. So let me write z. Z will be 1. This is clear now.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay. But number has to be in radians form. So we have to write, suppose we write 3.14 divided by 2. Then it will give you, now suppose I print z, it is almost equal to 0 because I am taking 3.14, which is not equal to pi, close to pi but not equal to pi. My number is close to 0 but not equal to 0. So let me take a pi value because this is a math function. Maths module also have a pi value. So let me show you what is a pi value. So if I write math dot pi, it will provide me the value of pi. You can see the value of pi is provided. So I can, what I can do, I can say z is equal to math function. In that math function, I want to call a function math module. In that math module, I want to call a function called cos. In that, I want to provide a value of pi divided by 2, which is 90. So pi divided by 2, I will do that math dot pi, which is pi z. You will get very low value, which is 10 raised to minus 70, which is nothing but 0. Hello.
So,
Now here we can easily do round z comma say 3. That is okay. So I'm going only up to third decimal place. My number is anyway in minus 17 decimal, so it will give me 0. Hello.
so
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if you want to know what is there in math function, how to know that? So what we'll do? We'll say help bracket math. Okay, and it will give you all possible help related to math. So you can just scroll up and look at the things. So everything is there. We went to the end, so we were here. I typed help math. So it'll say help on built-in module math. So this module is already there in the spider. Is it clear? Hello.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now it will show you all the functions which are there in module. So look at this function. A cos. Return the arc cosine measured in radians of x. A cos h. It is a return the inverse hyperbolic sine cosine of x. Similarly, we already done cos, right? Simple cos. So here it was the cos. So it returns the cosine of x. Similarly, we can have exponential exp. Return the e raised to power of x. Same. Then floor f mod, which is similar to floor division or mod operation. Then we have GCD. So you can take two numbers and easily find out GCD. Right? You don't have to write your own program. You can just take this function. Then log base to 10. This is the logarithm of the x to the given base. So here it is like this: log x comma base is equal to math dot e. So instead of base is equal to math dot e, you can put something here. So if you say base is equal to 2, then log 2 will be calculated. So log base to 2 will be calculated. If you write base is equal to 10, it will be log with base 10 will be calculated. Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So you can go see this power. Pow returns x asterisk asterisk y. That is clear. And this is also calculate the product of all the elements in the input iterable. Then the radians, so different between. Okay, this is okay. This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now there is one more function called a trunk. Truncates the real x to a nearest integer towards 0. So whatever is the lower value, it truncates to that integer value. Okay. Similarly, we have tan. Return the tangent of x. Then square. Return the square root of x. So we can have all those things. Now, other than this function, there are variables which are already defined in the math module. What are those variables? These are the variables. So inf means infinity is equal to infinity. Nan means not an integer. That is also there. So when you divide by 0, it becomes not an integer. The e value is also stored. The pi value which is we have used, which is here, and tau is also here. That is clear to everyone. You can easily see the y value. So math dot e, and we get the value of the variable e, which is there in math module. Clear? Hello. So this is
Yes,
like reusing the data. So reusing the code someone has already written code for cosine function, log function. We are using it for our purpose. So we don't have to write the code for a cosine function. We are directly using it. This is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. So what I want you guys to do is this. So this is something which is slightly expecting higher than the starting point, but we can find the, see, we have already all we know the value of pi, right? 3.14 something, right? Hello, everyone.
Yes, sir.
But see, we are using value of pi everywhere. Value of pi is like a basis for many calculations. It is there in physics. Most of the formulas, or rather many formulas, pi value is always there. 1/4 pi epsilon 0 and blah blah. So everywhere. So it is good to calculate value of pi. How to do that? It's very simple. Just imagine that there is 1/1 box or 1/1 square. Okay. Hello.
So
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, and consider that we take a quarter of a circle in that with center at 0 0. That means one of the corner. So, and radius of the circle is 1. So you can see the circle here. So it is going from one corner to the another corner. That is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the radius of this circle is 1. Now there are two parts of in the square. One part which is not part of the square circle, and other part which is part of the circle, which is shown by the dark gray area. And light gray area is the part which is not, which is a part of this square but not part of the circle. That is clear.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose on the ground I draw this diagram, say, and if I start throwing the balls, say the thing is quite big, so my ball is small compared to this dimension. Say my ball is of 0.1 size, not 0.1 size, 0.01 size of my ball, and I'm throwing ball randomly in this square. Okay. Hello. Now listen
Yes,
to the
sir.
logic. If I start throwing the ball randomly in this square, say I am throwing the ball say 1 lakh times. Okay. Or 1 million times, 10 lakhs times. Now what will happen? Because I'm throwing ball randomly, it can land anywhere.
Yes.
Okay. As it can land anywhere, the number of balls landing in any area is equal to the size of that area.
Right.
Now look at here. Now number of balls landing in inside the circle is equal to the is equivalent to the area of the circle.
Yes.
Okay. So now if you know this, then we can go ahead. Now look at this idea. So if I drop a large number of balls, then what I'll do, I'll just take number of balls which are dropped in the square. Say those number of ball is n total. And in that, some n number of balls is getting dropped inside the circle. Okay. Then number of balls which are dropped in a circle, square, sorry, and number of ball dropped in the circle, their ratio should give the ratio of the area of the circle and area of the square. So it should look like this. R inner means the balls which are getting dropped inside the circle, and sorry, n inner is number of balls getting dropped inside the circle, and n total is total number of balls we are going to throw, should be equal to area of the quarter of the circle divided by area of the square. That is clear, this part.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see here I have dropped multiple balls here. You can see in the diagram. So each ball shown by a point. Whenever the ball hits the circle, I am giving it as a red color. Whenever ball goes outside the circle, it is given by the blue color. Now what I am going to do, I am going to calculate how many balls which are inside the circle. So those are given by n inner. Total number of balls which I am throwing is n total, and then both should be connected by each other by a ratio of area of the quarter of the circle divided by area of the square. This is clear. Now because this is a square with a side 1, what should be the area of the square?
1.
And what should be the area of the quarter of the circle?
1/4.
pi.
1 by pi by 4.
By
By
4,
4
sorry.
pi.
The n inner and n total can be easily calculated because we are throwing the ball, so we can calculate. Now, if this is pi by 4 divided by 1, so it becomes pi by 4, and that is equal to n inner by n total. So now we can calculate the value of pi because n inner and n total is in our hand. Okay, n total is in our hand, n inner we can calculate. So we get pi is equal to approximately equal to 4 into n inner divided by n total. That is clear?
Yes.
Okay, why it is shown approximately? Because the number n inner and n total, till they are finite, this will be approximate. When n total becomes infinity, pi, this value will exactly equal to pi value. That is clear?
Yes.
Okay, so next time, now it is already 5:15. So this program, how to do this program, I will show it to you on next Wednesday. Na? Hello. So next Wednesday, we'll meet again. I'll explain you this program in more detail, how to write this program. You are going to write this program. And there is one more program called as projectile motion of a ball. So we are going to write a program where we are going to predict the motion of the ball. If you throw the ball in a particular angle, what trajectory it will take, that also we are going to calculate from here, from the using Python program. We already learned about the loop. We'll see how to calculate that. And next time I'll show you how to plot a graph using the Python. That is clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
because I don't have time, I'm skipping the part of explaining how to do this Py program. This we'll see in the next lecture. I'm not going to write the program. I will just give you more necessary. There is one more part which I have not explained, that I will explain you. Then you will write the program by yourself. Next time I'll also explain the program for the projectile motion of a ball or any other object. Okay, and that also you will write. I'll just give you the idea how it should be done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll stop.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Is it possible to alter the lecture timing from 2 hours to 1 hour? Because 2 hours is quite heavy for us, and after 1 hour, we all get saturated.
Yeah, we can do
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yeah, we can do
Yes,
that.
sir.
But then I have to do for 4 days because I am supposed to take 4 lectures per week. Then every day I have to take a lecture. Okay, what we'll do now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'll talk to Jyoti madam. I'll take at least 3 lectures next time.
Sir,
Three,
of
one,
1 hour each.
1 hour each.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Or if I don't have time later on, then what I'll do, I'll take 2 lectures as 1 hour and 1 lecture of 2 hours. So in that, I'll try to give you something after 1 hour.
Okay, better than before.
Okay,
Sir.
sir.
Yeah, I can take lecture for 3 hours, but I can understand if you're sitting on the other end of the terminal, I can understand what happened.
Actually, today we only got 1 hour break.
Yeah. It was mainly my mistake because I misread that timetable. It was I was under the impression